Today we're diving into a topic that often confuses people, the difference between weather and climate. These two terms are sometimes used interchangeably, but they actually refer to very different things. Understanding the distinction is crucial, especially as conversations about our environment become more important. In this video, we'll break down what weather and climate mean, how they're measured, and why knowing the difference matters. Let's start by exploring what weather is and how it affects our daily lives. Weather describes the short-term conditions of the atmosphere in a specific place at a specific time. It's what you experience when you step outside each day, whether it's sunny, rainy, windy, or snowy. Weather can change from hour to hour, day to day, and it's measured using instruments like thermometers, barometers, and rain gauges. Meteorologists use these tools to forecast what the weather will be like in the near future. So when you check the forecast for tomorrow, you're looking at weather. Climate, on the other hand, refers to the average weather conditions in a region over a long period, usually 30 years or more. It's not about what's happening outside right now, but about the typical patterns you can expect in a place. For example, deserts have a dry climate while tropical regions have a warm and humid climate. Scientists study climate to understand long-term trends and how they might be changing over time. Climate gives us the big picture, while weather is all about the details. Think about how the weather can change throughout a single day. You might wake up to sunshine, experience a sudden rain shower in the afternoon, and see clear skies again by evening. These rapid changes are typical of weather. It's influenced by factors like air pressure, humidity, and wind. That's why weather forecasts are updated frequently and why it's sometimes hard to predict exactly what will happen next. Weather is all about the here and now. Like weather, climate doesn't change from day to day. Instead, it's about the general patterns that emerge over many years. For instance, if you know that winters in your area are usually cold and snowy, that's part of your region's climate. Scientists look at decades of weather data to determine these patterns. This helps us understand what kind of weather to expect in different seasons and how our environment might be changing over time. Measure weather. Meteorologists use a variety of tools. Thermometers measure temperature, barometers track air pressure, and anemometers gauge wind speed. For climate, scientists rely on long-term records from weather stations, satellites, and even tree rings or ice cores. These tools help us collect data over time, allowing us to see both the immediate changes in weather and the gradual shifts in climate. Weather forecasting is all about predicting what will happen in the short term. Meteorologists analyze current conditions and use computer models to estimate what the weather will be like in the next few hours or days. This information helps us plan our daily activities, like deciding whether to carry an umbrella or wear a jacket. Forecasts are updated regularly because weather can change quickly and unexpectedly. Climate studies focus on understanding long-term trends and changes. Scientists analyze decades or even centuries of data to identify patterns, such as rising temperatures or shifting rainfall. This research is essential for understanding how our planet is changing and for making decisions about agriculture, infrastructure, and environmental policies. Climate studies help us prepare for the future by revealing the bigger picture. Let's look at some examples of weather. A thunderstorm rolling in during the afternoon, a sudden drop in temperature, or a windy day at the beach, all of these are examples of weather events. They're temporary and can change quickly. Weather is what you experience in the moment, and it can be very different from one day to the next, even in the same place. Now let's consider some examples of climate. The Sahara Desert is known for its hot and dry climate, while the Amazon rainforest has a warm and humid climate. These descriptions aren't about what's happening today, but about the typical conditions you can expect over many years. Climate helps us understand what kind of weather is normal in a particular region. Understanding the difference between weather and climate is important for many reasons. It helps us interpret news about extreme weather events and climate change. When scientists talk about global warming, they're referring to changes in climate, not just a hot day. Knowing the distinction helps us make sense of environmental issues and how they might affect our lives. Weather events can be dramatic and sometimes dangerous. Hurricanes, tornadoes, blizzards, and heat waves are all examples of extreme weather. These events can cause significant damage and disrupt daily life, but they are temporary. Understanding weather helps us prepare for these events and stay safe when conditions change suddenly. The world is divided into different climate zones, such as tropical, temperate, and polar. Each zone has its own typical weather patterns and temperatures. These zones are determined by factors like latitude, altitude, and proximity to oceans. Understanding climate zones helps us predict what kind of weather is normal in different parts of the world. Seasons are a great example of how climate influences weather. In many places, the climate determines when it's likely to be hot, cold, wet, or dry. For example, summer is usually warmer and winter is colder. These patterns repeat every year and are part of the region's climate, but the specific weather on any given day can still vary widely. Scientists gather climate data from a variety of sources. Weather stations provide daily records, while satellites offer a global perspective. Other sources include tree rings, ice cores, and ocean sediments, which reveal information about past climates. By combining these sources, scientists can build a detailed picture of how climate has changed over time. Collecting weather data is a daily task for meteorologists. They use instruments like rain gauges, wind vanes, and weather balloons to measure current conditions. This data is fed into computer models to create forecasts. Accurate weather data helps us plan our activities and respond to changing conditions quickly. The main difference between weather and climate is the timescale. Weather is short-term, changing from hour to hour or day to day. Climate is long-term, describing patterns over decades. This distinction is key to understanding how our environment works and why both are important for different reasons. Weather affects what we wear, how we travel, and even our mood. A rainy day might mean carrying an umbrella, while a sunny day is perfect for outdoor activities. Climate, on the other hand, influences bigger decisions like what crops farmers plant or how buildings are designed in different regions. Climate change refers to significant, long-term changes in the average climate of the Earth. This can include rising global temperatures, shifting rainfall patterns, and more frequent extreme weather events. Understanding climate change is essential for protecting our planet and planning for the future. Extreme weather events like hurricanes, floods, and droughts can have a big impact on communities. These events are part of weather, not climate, because they happen over short periods. However, scientists study whether climate change is making these events more common or severe. Climate trends are patterns that emerge over decades or centuries. For example, scientists have observed that average global temperatures have been rising over the past century. These trends help us understand how the Earth's climate is changing and what the future might hold. You'll often hear about both weather and climate in the news. Weather reports tell you what to expect today or this week, while climate stories discuss long-term changes and their impact on the planet. Being able to tell the difference helps you better understand what's happening in the world. A common misconception is that a cold day disproves global warming. In reality, weather can vary a lot from day to day, while climate is about long-term averages. One chilly day doesn't mean the climate isn't warming overall. Understanding this helps us interpret environmental news more accurately. Weather maps show current conditions like temperature, precipitation, and wind across different regions. These maps help meteorologists and the public visualize what's happening right now and where changes are expected. Weather maps are updated frequently to reflect the latest data. Climate graphs display long-term data such as average monthly temperatures or rainfall over many years. These graphs help scientists and the public see patterns and trends in a region's climate. By studying climate graphs, we can better understand how our environment is changing. Many people use weather apps to check the forecast before leaving home. These apps provide up-to-date information about temperature, precipitation, and wind. They use data from weather stations and satellites to give you the latest updates, helping you plan your day. Climate reports are published by scientists and organizations to share findings about long-term trends. These reports include data on temperature, rainfall, and other climate indicators. They help governments and communities make informed decisions about the future. Farmers rely on weather forecasts to decide when to plant, water, and harvest crops. Sudden changes in weather can affect crop yields, so accurate forecasts are essential. Over time, climate determines what types of crops can be grown in a region, shaping local agriculture. Engineers and city planners use climate data to design buildings, roads, and bridges that can withstand local conditions. For example, structures in snowy regions are built differently from those in tropical climates. Understanding climate helps communities prepare for long-term challenges. Travel plans often depend on the weather. Flights can be delayed by storms and road trips may be affected by snow or heavy rain. Checking the weather forecast before traveling helps ensure safety and comfort. Climate, meanwhile, influences popular travel destinations and the best times to visit. Ecosystems are shaped by the climate of their region. For example, rainforests thrive in warm, wet climates while tundras exist in cold, dry areas. Changes in climate can disrupt ecosystems, affecting plants, animals, and the services they provide to humans. Outdoor activities like hiking, sports, or picnics are often planned around the weather. A sunny day is perfect for being outside, while rain or storms might mean rescheduling. Checking the weather forecast helps people make the most of their free time. Wildlife adapts to the climate of its habitat. Animals in the Arctic have thick fur to survive the cold, while desert animals are adapted to heat and dryness. Climate change can threaten these adaptations, making it harder for some species to survive. Weather can affect our health in many ways. Hot weather can lead to heat exhaustion, while cold weather increases the risk of hypothermia. Sudden changes in weather can also trigger allergies or respiratory problems. Staying informed about the weather helps us take precautions. Throughout history, climate has influenced where people live, what they eat, and how societies develop. Ancient civilizations often flourished in regions with favorable climates. Changes in climate have also led to migrations and the rise and fall of empires. Advances in technology have improved our ability to predict and respond to weather. Satellites, radar, and computer models provide real-time data, making forecasts more accurate. This technology helps us stay safe and make better decisions every day. Climate affects how much energy we use for heating and cooling. In hot climates, air conditioning is common, while cold climates require more heating. Understanding local climate helps us design energy-efficient buildings and reduce our environmental impact. Emergency services rely on accurate weather forecasts to prepare for storms, floods, and other disasters. Early warnings help communities evacuate or take shelter, saving lives and reducing damage. Weather information is a vital part of disaster response planning. Climate determines how much rainfall a region receives, which affects water availability for drinking, farming, and industry. Droughts and floods are influenced by climate patterns. Managing water resources requires understanding both weather and climate. Recreational activities like skiing, surfing, or fishing depend on the weather. Good weather can make these activities enjoyable, while bad weather can lead to cancellations. Checking forecasts helps people plan for safe and fun experiences outdoors. Tourism is often influenced by climate. People travel to warm beaches in winter or cool mountains in summer. Understanding the climate of a destination helps travelers choose the best time to visit and plan their activities accordingly. Communicating weather information quickly and accurately is essential. News outlets, apps, and social media all play a role in keeping people informed about changing conditions. Clear communication helps everyone stay safe and prepared. Governments use climate data to create policies that protect the environment and public health. These policies address issues like emissions, renewable energy, and disaster preparedness. Reliable climate information is essential for making effective decisions. To sum up, weather is the short-term state of the atmosphere, while climate is the long-term average of weather patterns in a region. Weather changes quickly and affects our daily lives, while climate shapes the environment over decades. Understanding both helps us make better decisions and respond to challenges. Thanks for joining us on this journey to understand the difference between weather and climate. By knowing how they differ, we can better interpret the world around us and make informed choices for ourselves and our communities. Stay curious and keep exploring the wonders of our planet's atmosphere.